guys, welcome to the Witness podcast. My name's Ruby.
And I'm Megan, and we are trying a new thing. We've set up a podcast because we thought it would be fun. And so this is episode number one. This is our little intro episode where we're just going to give a little intro to who we are and what we're doing and why we thought this would be fun. A disclaimer is that my internet is terrible because we are not professionals. And so if it's awkward, that's why. But we're just going to work with it. Ruby, why did we want to do this?
Well, before we started this, like the filming today, I was looking through our messages and I found the message where I said, "Oh, I want to start a podcast." And that was back in October. And then in December, you came to my house and it was on this sofa and you were like, "Should we do this together?" And so we're doing it together.
We are doing it together. A little bit of an intro to who we are and why we know each other is I used to be Ruby's youth worker and I recently moved away, so we don't see a lot of each other anymore. But we're in contact because we're good family friends. And so we just thought we'd have a go together. Okay, so you said that in October you sent me a message saying that you wanted to start a podcast. What was the idea for you? Why did that feel like something that you wanted to do?
Well, I've been and I'm still on this like course for young people called Amplify, and it was on a Saturday. We had this like seminar. I went to the one about digital evangelism with The Way, and I don't think I realized it during the session, but after that, I was like, oh, wait, I'd actually love to do a podcast. And I think that is the kind of thing I'd be really interested in. And so I messaged you. Well, I kind of messaged you about how Amplify went. And in that, I was like, also, I have a little idea to start a podcast, but I don't know where that's going to go. And then in December, we were like coming to see my family for Christmas. And I also spoke at church that day. And I remember coming home and we came and sat on this sofa. I think it was on the Sunday evening. And you were like, so I was wondering if you would want to do the podcast together. And I was like, that is a great idea. Because if I did it by myself, I would not, it just wouldn't have happened. Don't have the motivation to do it by myself.
Well, and I feel like that speaks to what our relationship has been like before when I was your youth worker, and even conversations that we've had since then. So I left the church that we were both part of, to move away for a different job, what, like 8 months ago now, maybe? Which
Yeah,
feels
in
crazy.
June.
That feels like such a long time. But we've what's been really lovely is that we've been able to maintain a relationship and we're still having conversations about stuff that you're learning and experiences that you're having and things that I'm learning, which feels just like a continuation of when I was your youth worker and we'd go out to Starbucks, it was always the Starbucks, and just have those conversations about stuff that you'd read in the Bible or a podcast that you'd listened to. And it just felt like a really special space to be able to unpack that stuff, where in some ways, like a difference in age matters less because actually we're just both on this journey. And I guess this is where this idea and the kind of ideas that we've got around what this podcast will be came from, is that regardless of age and stage, we are all just on this discipleship journey of figuring out who God is, who we are, and what it means to be following Him in all the different things that we face. And I always found those conversations with you, they really encouraged my faith because quite often you were coming up with things or you were excited about something that I just hadn't been thinking about. And so I felt like I learned a lot from you, and hopefully maybe once or twice you might have learned something from me. But yeah, that's kind of where it started for us.
So you've probably already seen by clicking on this video or podcast that we are called the Witness Podcast. I think we should probably go into where that name came from and how it kind of represents the podcast itself. So I think, again, we were on this sofa and we were trying to think of names, and we were on ChatGPT a bit,
Yeah,
but they weren't giving us very good ideas. And
no, they were not good.
I don't know where Witness came in, but I know you said it. And we were like, yeah, Hebrews 12 verse 1. Is it
Is that
verse
what
1,
it
verse
is? I'm
2?
gonna look it
No,
up while you're talking.
Hebrews 12. Since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off the sin that easily entangles and the somethings and run with endurance the
Yeah.
race that has been marked out for us.
Yes, so good. Yes, amazing. I was gonna have to look that up, but I don't need to anymore.
So I think witness, we also like, I remember we spoke about this. We liked witness because it's like a verb. It's like witness it, like
Mm,
witness, you know, like look. But it's also, you can be a witness, it's a noun. Being a witness, it's kind of like evangelism. It's like you've seen something and so you talk about it. You have to give your statement of what you've seen.
mm. So looking forward, if that's kind of where we started from, and that was like the original concept of why we wanted to do this and what we
Mm.
thought this would be for, do you want to give us just some quick fire bullet points of things that we might cover on the podcast?
I have to search them up. I think I remember.
I can help.
So we were gonna talk about first we're gonna do our testimonies.
Hmm.
So that's probably next episodes, mine and Megan's testimonies, and then we're gonna just do some topics and kind of talk about them from like the perspective of a young person and a friend, but also kind of ex-youth worker. It's kind
You're
of
gonna
like
say from the perspective of an old
it's
person.
like an old not from an old person. From a wise person.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's me.
In the Bible, there's loads of like examples of discipleship relationships. There's like Ruth and Naomi. There's no, I'm gonna forget them all. There's like David and Jonathan, maybe. Don't know. They're more friends. I don't know. We're friends, so. And there's like Paul and is it Paul and Titus?
Paul and Timothy as well.
So we're gonna look at hot topics, kind of. Just some things that when I was your young person, we would have spoken about, and now we're friends, we can still speak about, whether it's like prayer, mental health, anxiety, speaking in tongues, discernment, all the things.
And I think also the exciting thing for me is that we get to carry it on
Yeah.
and I still get to do this a little bit in my job now, but I think one of the things I really loved about being a youth worker was, I guess, really, is that it held me accountable to being really aware of what God was teaching me because I wanted to be
Mm.
able to share actual real examples of this is what I feel like God's teaching me through this thing that I'm facing or this thing, because that to me feels like authentic discipleship. So I guess my hope for me, but also for you in us doing this, is that it kind of does some of that accountability for us. It's like a
Yeah,
little bit of that encouragement and like a reason to really pay attention to where God's speaking to us. Because
definitely.
otherwise, we're going to come to these episodes and we're going to have nothing to say because we haven't learned anything. So, in
Hmm.
some ways, hopefully, it'll be helpful for that as well.
Yeah.
Great. I think that's our intro episode. The plan, our schedule, we're thinking that we're probably going to do like once a month at the moment because you've got exams this year. So let's not pile on the stress because that's not good. So we're going to start with once a month and we're going to just see how that goes. And then it might be that over the summer we've got more time or we'll just see what happens. Basically, we're going low bar, low commitment. Let's just see what
Mm.
happens. And hopefully, we'll get so much more smooth and professional along the way. And then in like a
Amen.
year's time, we'll be so slick and
Oh
you'll
yeah.
think we've been doing it our whole lives. But until then, bear with us. We're going to have a go. Partly, I mean, the big reason that we're going to do this is just, it's quite fun. But I guess the hope is that as a byproduct of the fun and the fact that we get to continue having these conversations together, is that somebody else might listen to them and might be encouraged and might learn something and might have a new
Yeah.
perspective on something. So that's our hope for you. And that's our hope for us. And I don't think we've got anything else to say, have we?
I don't think so.
Apart from thanks so much for
Yeah.
listening to our first really professional podcast. If you've stuck
So
with us
professional, yeah.
for however long this lasted, well done.
We
Um,
appreciate it. Yeah.
and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.